We're now recording. Got our boy Sean Moore up in the building. Episode
Yes, sir,
68 of the
Ski.
Duo Sports and Stuff podcast.
68.
Sean is a diehard Sooner fan, Dane. And so this week has been kind of rough for him, I'm sure. So let's give him.
I love it.
We got a present. We got a present for Sean to start off the show. Let's see if he likes this.
Lincoln, are you shocked that you've gotten this far without anybody asking you about all the rumors this week?
I'm just
saying I'm gonna ask you about it, so I might as well. I mean, it's nonstop. I mean, it's every day.
hold up, Gary. I'm not going to be the next head coach at LSU.
Can I ask you?
Next question.
The duo. The duo. The duo. The duo.
I gave Sean his present for coming on the show. It was the audio of former Oklahoma coach and now USC head coach Lincoln Riley. Dane, first, before we get to Sean, Dane, when you saw that Lincoln was out of there, what'd you think?
I was like, wait a minute. First off, let me make sure the account is not a troll account, one of them weird accounts that has like the misspelling of Adam Schefter's name or something like that. So I had to first check to verify the sources and then realize where he actually went to. But I was like, dang, well, I mean, at the end of the day, it wasn't LSU. He didn't technically lie. Well, he lied by omission. But at the same time, it's like, I mean, we're going to see. The proof is going to be in the pudding what that program turns into or what it doesn't turn into. So we're going to find out. But, I mean, it sucks for, OU Nation. We know plenty of Sooner fans. So it's like, it's no mixed signals or mixed emotions. It's like everybody's like, man, see that boy in the back alley. They probably giving them the hands. So
it's on site.
Yeah. On site.
Facts.
And of course we got our brother and diehard Sooner fan, Sean Mo. Sean, was it something? Okay, first initial reaction when you saw that Lincoln was out of there, out of Norman.
Man, I was shocked more than anything. I didn't expect it because after he said what he said to old boy after the Oklahoma State game about he won't be the next coach at LSU, I went to sleep thinking, okay, Lincoln's definitely staying around for 15, 20 years.
We talked about it in the group chat too.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, man. And, when that popped up that he was going to USC, I was a little confused, but I've kept a good poker face a little bit throughout this time. I'm a little worried. I'm sure we'll get into it a little more here, but man, it was pretty disappointing, man. I mean, Lincoln Riley is a good coach.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, no matter how we feel about him or if we feel what he did was, dirty, which I do feel it was a little dirty. But other than that, man, I was really kind of shocked because I went to sleep that night after the game knowing, okay, well, we still gonna have our coach, and all the LSU rumors and stuff, in the group chat, boys messing with me about it. I thought there was maybe some smoke there, but I was like, nah, Lincoln gets calls all the time, all the time. And he said no, but yeah, this kind of came out of left field, man, to be honest.
Definitely, man. Like, what he's done for Oklahoma in that short time. He's only there 5 seasons, led you guys to 3 playoff appearances, 4 Big 12 titles, man. And of course, everything he's done, with Baker Mayfield, Kyler Murray, he has been, he has proven that he's like a quarterback developer as far as, bringing the guys in and getting them to the level they need to be. And it seems like he was on that path with Caleb Williams, coming in mid-season for Spencer Rattler. It's definitely a shock. And we'll get to the Brian Kelly to LSU one for sure, but it's hard to determine which. I put up a poll on Twitter about which one was a more shocking move, and I think the results are like 53 to 45% more in favor of Riley. But I think that's kind of fair. Like both of them were like if I had to choose, I don't think I could choose which one was more shocking. Because you have Lincoln Riley there, like how we talked about how good he's been for Oklahoma, all the things he's done for the school in such a short time span. And then you have Brian Kelly. That's I feel like he was there a little bit longer, but he's had Notre Dame, in the playoff hunt, or if not in the playoffs, a couple of times, and
in the pinnacle,
they're always
10 games a year.
I mean,
up
they're
into
always
that big game.
Yeah, they're to the big game. I mean, they're always there at the end, competing, and I guess this is just me spitting off the riff. Like maybe they felt like they brought their programs to where they feel like they could be. I'm just playing devil's advocate here, but I don't know what. I mean, one thing that is definitely crazy about it is the bag that they got to dip out, and of course, everybody's gonna talk about LA compared to Norman, the lifestyle. Of course, like if you were given an opportunity, you probably would take it. But it's what we talked about, the aspect of it, the saying you're not going, and then not even a whole 36 hours later, all right, I'm a Trojan now, and with the Brian Kelly, I actually have the Brian Kelly audio for Notre Dame, and I'm gonna play that too, because this was from like a little over a week ago, and it's basically the same sentiment that Lincoln Riley said. If y'all ain't hear it already,
coach speak.
Right, coach speak. So let's hear what Brian Kelly had to say.
Other than retiring from your current profession, could you see yourself leaving Notre Dame of your own volition?
No. I mean, look, I think Mike Tomlin had the best line, right? Unless that fairy godmother comes by with that, $250 million check, my wife would want to take a look at it first. I'd have to run it by her.
So yeah, it's coach speak. That's basically what it is. Like what? I mean, you're a coach on a podium, and somebody asks you that. You're in a lose-lose situation, right? You say, "I'm staying." Like I'm staying, and you leave. All right, you're a liar. You say, "I'm leaving." I mean, you're never gonna say, "All right, I'm out of here." Like,
or
even a no comment is a comment. Like, I'm not answering that question. Like, they're in that position where, like, they're in a, literally can't win. So, I mean, it's always that angle and aspect of how you look at it. But at the same time, I'm gonna give you an opportunity to speak. I feel like I've been talking a lot. But what I initially thought about with what I initially thought about with all the with these particular moves is how they always go back to players leaving early, especially like for bowl games, preparing for an NFL draft, preparing their for their career where they can actually make their living. And there were comments about it's hurting the game. Players shouldn't be leaving early. They should be in it for the school and in it for their teammates. And then you see a situation like this or two big situations where these coaches left, before a bowl game. Even Notre Dame has a chance to make the college football playoff, and Brian Kelly's like, "Nah, bro, I'm out. Like now."
Right.
What do y'all think that says about the argument of college players leaving early or college versus college coaches leaving early?
Go ahead, Dane.
Go ahead, Mr. Moore. I got a tangent. I don't want to hold you. Go ahead, man. Do your thing.
Oh, you got a lot to say about that?
Oh yeah, I got a lot of negative things to say about that.
Man, well, at first when the transfer portal came up and things like that, I was against it big time. Because I was kind of that fan that feels like you're at it for the school. We all love college sports because we feel like the kids are playing because they have pride in their school. Not for the money like the pros, or it's just a job. It's more you got some pride there. So you kind of expect the kids to hang around and fight through whatever they're going through for their school, And then coaches, on the other hand, they were leaving whenever they wanted to leave. So at the end of the day, man, you just got to make it fair all around. I mean, at this point, especially the way the coaches are jumping ship and going, leaving out of nowhere, man, the kids should be able to do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
At this point now, I have absolutely no issue with it. It sucks when it happens to my team, when kids hit that transfer portal. But at the same time, I know, whatever coach Oklahoma does decide to hire, he'll go get guys from the transfer portal. It's basically college free agency. Just like the head coaches, every year they have an option to leave, So I have no issue with it, man. I think it's fair now at this point. So coaches get done dirty whenever players leave on them, the same way coaches do these kids dirty when they leave after telling the kid, in front of his parents that he's going to be there for the next 10 years and he's out after 5,
Or what they saying about Riley, what's the cornerbacks coach saying he was recruiting
that's
for USC?
That's drama, man. It's kind of dirty, man. I got something to say about that, but I'll hold off on that a little
bit. We'll come back to it. We'll come back to it.
I can't wait. For me, it's just a matter of principle. It's one thing if I say as a coach, hey guys, I'm going to be here for X amount of years, especially, incoming freshmen or guys that you developed a relationship with, typically your quarterbacks or those guys who are cornerstone pieces to your dynasty, if you will. Now, you tell me one thing, and then you go around and I see on the ESPN app that you didn't accepted a job somewhere else and you leaving. That's a sucker move to me. Now, the interesting part is the media plays a role in it too, because there wouldn't be a coach that would be there shouldn't be a coach terrified of public perception, but they know that the job the media plays, and that's to make a story. You're going to make a story if a particular coach does one thing or says one thing and does another thing. So I get that. You got to play the game. I'm not knocking the man for, choosing to increase his living standards by accepting a few more million, because I do the same thing. I ain't gonna sit there and lie to you. I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna smile as I write that check. Yeah. I'm gonna smile while I do it too. But I'm gonna keep it 100. It's the same person you get from day one is the same person you're gonna get from day 1,000. I'm gonna tell you straight up. I'm here for the time being. If there's something else that comes up, there's a different situation or a different opportunity, I'm going to take that. And I would respect and honor if you do the same thing. If there's something another campus out there, another school that you could play for that gives you a better opportunity to play a time, if you feel that I'm being unfair to you, do your thing. But what I'm not going to represent or I'm not going to like is that sucker stuff. Like that's like, I didn't like that. That's the only thing I really didn't like about the situation, because you again, a lot of the players, they're very vocal. They're very, 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 very well respected in the community. So when they come out and say stuff like, whoa, this is not the same stuff you told us last week. So that's what I find issue with. But I ain't going to knock the hustle because, look, money talks. So I'd be a fool to tell you that. But, I mean, it's about time that the scales have been balanced for the players, allowing them even more freedom. You have plenty of them they're there at college. They're trying to build tape. This is sometimes it's a 3 to 4 year job interview. They're trying to make sure they have the best opportunity to turn professional, and to do that, some of them got to see the field. And realistically, if you got thousands of kids, across the nation, and there's only 11 starting spots on each side of the ball, somebody's not going to touch the field. And in the spirit of competition, they might as well go somewhere else and get in where they fit in. Especially when you got coaches that are snakes sitting in their parents' room, eating their cookies and chicken and saying, I'll be there for 10 years and you have my word, your son's in good hands. And they in 2 seasons. So I ain't with that sucker stuff, but I'm waiting to hear what Sean got to say about this USC stuff too. Like I want to hear this. Like I'm ready.
Yeah, go ahead, Sean.
Sorry, Mr. Moderator.
So no, I was gonna say, for the leaders that or the listeners that don't know, there was some rumors. I don't know how much legitimacy is to this story, and I'll let Sean go into it. But basically, after Lincoln Riley had accepted the USC position, y'all's cornerback coach, right, was recruiting. What was the recruit?
The recruit was a cornerback. He lives out in California. I can't exactly think of his name, but right now his 2 choices are USC and Michigan. Mm-hmm. And supposedly he went out on that recruiting trip. Roy Manning, the cornerbacks coach, he wasn't one of the guys who traveled with Lincoln Riley to USC immediately.
Right.
but he's one of those guys who's always been with Alex Grinch. So I've always had the idea that
And Alex
he's
Grinch
probably
went
gonna leave too.
with
He
Riley
went with
as
Lincoln
DC.
Riley. So I guess
Boy.
when Bob Stoops and DeMarco Murray went out on a recruiting visit, this Roy Manning was like either stepping outside or going to another bedroom and texting this recruit. And this recruit put on Twitter, I appreciate Roy Manning for getting in touch with me, blase, blase, and from there it just blew up. It's like, hold up. Roy Manning, you were just out there with Bob Stoops and them recruiting, our safety out there in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma, but you stepping outside texting this kid who isn't even considering Oklahoma.
Right.
So right
Double
now,
agent.
there's a lot of things going on where they're thinking like Riley knew about this. So Oklahoma's compliance department, I guess, they're getting into it, and they're trying. Right now, a lot of feelings are hurt, man.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
they're gonna do
absolutely.
whatever they can do to kind of stick it to Riley.
Mhm.
If we can make USC lose 5 scholarships, they're gonna do it.
Yeah.
And I'm positive about that. Which it's a little petty, but at the same time, that kind of falls into my whole theory. This kind of backtracking back to what we were talking about earlier, but about how which Brian Kelly leaving or Lincoln Riley, like which was worse. I think they're kind of equal, man. And the only reason why I say that is because Brian Kelly, he's leaving in the middle of his team. Maybe not, but really having a chance at the playoffs.
Yeah, one loss in the top 4. I mean, they right there.
Yeah, so that's dirty, man. And that's bad, and it's like Lincoln Riley left. We're not in the conference championship. It's not as bad. No, let me tell you why it's that bad.
Yeah.
Okay. So, man, I have a theory about this, man, and I'm really convinced
We love theories
that this is
We
the
love
case.
theories.
So,
Tinfoil
anyways,
do-rags on. Let's go.
Hey, let's go. Let's get into it, man. So Riley, stinking Lincoln, as my boy Skip Bayless calls him, stinking Lincoln. Hey, so this guy's gonna sit here and tell us that all this came to fruition in 8 hours. When he left the Oklahoma State game, that's when he talked to USC for the first time. He's never talked to any other football program. Man, come on, man.
Right.
This, I'm 100% convinced that this was in the works before the season even started at OU. Okay, and the reason why I say this, man, is because I'm sure all the listeners here who are Oklahoma fans will agree with me on this, man. The season the team did not look right, man. So basically, what I'm getting at here is
It's not because we beat y'all, right?
No, I'm not even saying that, man.
I had to do
So,
it.
hey, I feel you.
Alright.
Hey, I hope y'all win this weekend. I'm all Baylor Bears this weekend.
We got to because I'm in there.
Yeah.
All right, go
So,
ahead.
man,
You better-
basically,
No, go ahead.
man, you have a team here that was predicted, to at least go to the playoff and win a playoff game this year. This is I'm not getting at you by saying this, Dane, but
Do your
this
thing,
was
man.
not one of those Dallas Cowboy, hey, we're going to the Super Bowl like they
That's
say
every
every year.
Every year them clowns be
This
saying
was
it.
one of those for real Oklahoma fans that watch OU play, man. This was one of those years where, man, this was it. We had Spencer Rattler coming back. He was hot. We had a lot of players on defense coming back, a defense that was getting better every year. Offense, as good as Lincoln Riley has been, has gotten better every year. And besides that Jalen Hurts year, but we know what Jalen Hurts is as a quarterback. But besides that, and just going into the season, man, with the close games starting off with Tulane and the close games all year long. Okay, throughout those games, man, I'm used to, I watched every OU game since Lincoln's been there, before him also, but every game, Lincoln was great at making in-game adjustments. Lincoln, he would always, especially, I feel like he failed these guys this year because he was coaching with one foot out the door. And a couple of those assistants were too, that knew, so a lot of those, if you watched any OU games, man, like with Spencer Rattler when he was playing, we're still dropping back, keeping him in the pocket. It took him 3 games to start rolling the guy out of the pocket to where he was making some plays, and I just feel like he sabotaged them boys, man. When you watch even Caleb Williams when he played this year, a lot of those plays, those highlight plays,
on
they
his
were
own.
all broken plays, crazy things, right? A lot of receivers couldn't get open. You're telling me a genius like Lincoln Riley cannot scheme these guys to get open? All of a sudden this year, they can't get open. They're getting covered all day,
Right.
and like I said, we having these close games, and, I'm one of those ridiculous OU fans, man. One that has to be told, like, hey, the team doesn't care about you, bro, after they lose, I'm one of those fans,
I
So,
witnessed it for the listeners at the wedding a few weeks ago. It was Sean in the middle of our groomsmen room, surrounded by a bunch of Baylor fans during the Baylor OU game.
man,
So
that was
he was
tough.
going through it that day.
Some
I made it through
obnoxious
for my
Baylor
boy's
fans
wedding,
might
man.
add.
Yeah. So, man, you have that. The season went that way, and like I was saying, even in like the press conferences, man, including Alex Grinch, the defensive coordinator, they just looked like they weren't really into it, man. They weren't disappointed when the team was playing bad, like they have been in the past. I feel like a couple of those assistants that left with him, they also knew. Lincoln Riley says they got on the plane with me without a contract. Man, please. And you're gonna sit here and tell me that you're gonna uproot your family with 2 young girls and your wife in 8 hours and tell them, hey, we're moving to LA?
That
part is
it don't make sense.
Nah.
You're gonna tell me you didn't have to take the wife to, supposedly, from what I've read, he went to California during the bye week, during OU's bye week. Lincoln Riley did. Yeah, you were out there showing your wifey the house. We all married, man. You can't move your wife and not show her the house she's moving into.
Right.
So it was just, and then on top of that, besides the season not going the way we all expected it to, the more dirty thing about this whole situation is that I feel like he's known about this for so long, about going to USC. I feel like these talks might have went on so long, and he's always recruited in the West Coast. But man, he went hard in the West Coast for this 23 class, and we had all them 5 stars, all of them from Los Angeles. Now
all of them are flipping to USC.
Yeah, of course they are.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that Lincoln walked into those houses and said, hey, I'm going to USC, but I think he knew that he was going to be there. And as soon as he gets there, hey, I'm already putting my foot in the door with these guys. I get them to commit to OU. They'll definitely follow me when I come to their backyard.
Yeah.
Those are just some theories that might or might not be true.
I like that last one.
Yeah, man. The recruiting stuff, and then now you got this Roy Manning stuff on top of it, where he's recruiting behind the back of OU staff who's at the house of this recruit. Like, come on, man. And that's the only. And man, I respect Lincoln Riley. I like the dude. He's a very charming guy. You sit there and listen to him talk, you'll believe all them lies that he spilled all week. You know what I'm saying? Right. You wouldn't think twice about it. But man. Hey, all I'm gonna say is, good luck USC. Y'all gonna have a good offense.
Yeah, hey,
I don't. Defense,
if he gets,
it's gonna be horrible.
Yeah, I was gonna say he gets. Oh, Alex Grinch. Yeah,
hey, Alex Grinch ain't gonna fix nothing. Man, come on, man. Them boys, they might do good in the Pac-12. They'll make a couple playoffs. But as soon as they get there, it's gonna be Georgia, like it's OU versus Georgia.
The right time for him to go over there too, because the Pac-12 is probably the least of the Power 5 right now.
Yeah.
Well, definitely. Them and ACC probably. But what you kind of said kind of intrigued me about. You say Lincoln Riley, he can get the players, like make people believe anything he says, and I think that's like. In this generation of high school athletes in general, like back in the day, I know we mentioned at the beginning of the podcast about how players, like the mindset was more commit to the school, the program, and you see that a lot still. But we also see, and this goes, with the transfer portal, like players are committing to coaches, right?
Right, definitely.
A coach gets fired. A coach leaves, goes to another school. How many transfers do we see off rip? Like, hey, we see those graphics. After a long talk with my family, I've decided to decommit my recruitment is 100% open, all that stuff. Like
the little Apple Notes screenshot.
Right. And after Lincoln's move to USC, that like I felt like I seen that from a bunch of y'all's recruits, Sean. Like the commitments were like dropping like flies, like
flies.
back to back.
Yeah.
And then which we haven't even touched on, guys that were already at OU.
Yep, are leaving.
Big contributors to the squad. Of course, we assumed
potential first and second round picks.
It's all offensive guys too. So that
exactly
that
good point.
Red flag.
We had assumed that Spencer Rattler was gone. Like we knew that once Caleb Williams took over, but you lost Theo Weiss, Hazelwood, and Stogner, like guys that contribute like. If not 50%, 75% of the offense this year, besides what Kennedy Brooks has done in the backfield, that hurts. Like, so for you, bro, as a fan of Oklahoma, is there a way? Like, how do you see this playing out? As far as like, I'm not sure. I know you know the roster more than I do. Like, how do you see guys that are currently on the roster being able to fill that? Or are you like, man, we gonna need some players here. Maybe when we get our new coach to fill in recruits, like. What's the roster looking like right now, at least on the offensive side?
Yeah, offensively, man.
And even Marvin Mims was rumored too. I don't know how real that is. Though.
He's considering transferring right now. He's supposedly strongly considering it.
Yeah.
But I think what he's waiting on right now is to see if what Caleb Williams is gonna do, man. It's all about him. It's all about him. Anybody that they bring in. If whether he's a defensive guy or offensive guy, it's all about keeping Caleb at OU, man. The rest, receivers, they can come a dime and a dozen in college football. You can find somebody. You just got to have a quarterback who can get them the football.
Facts.
And so as long as they keep Caleb Williams around and happy, I think we'll be okay offensively. The defense, it's not even about the schemes or the players we have, man. It's the mentality. That's why, we've talked about it, but I want a defensive guy because I just want a team that's physical, man. Lincoln Riley talks physicality and all this. Man, come on, man.
He said it at his USC press conference.
Yeah, and you don't do nothing but yell at refs. Like, you need to yell at your damn players. You don't do nothing but yell at refs all day. Like, we got tired of seeing that this year, man. But, back to what we were talking about with the offense, man, we're losing a couple receivers. OU usually grooms receivers like it's nothing constantly. So I know we got some young guys who could step up and play pretty well, like I said. And then the offense was so disappointing this year. But after everything that's happened, man, I don't even think it's the guys. I think the scheme and what we were doing this year, the play calling was so lazy. That's the word for it. That's what Rashad, but we were talking about that. He's a coach. He's a high school football coach, and he hates Oklahoma. He's always ragging on OU all the time.
Right.
But even he said, man, the play calling this year just looked lazy. Like, it wasn't Lincoln. It was like the same stuff over and over again.
Uninspired.
Because like I said, he was coaching with one foot out the door. It's hard to do that, especially a team that's trying to win a national title. You got to be all in.
Right.
And so
what's crazy, I was still 9-0 going into the Baylor game. So
after winning all them crazy close games, so I think the roster will be okay, man. I'm just nervous about who we bring in, but we'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see.
That's the other thing. I know it could probably break while we talking right now.
I know, right?
You've been looking at your phone like crazy all week, trying to see who y'all gonna get. I think the best fit, and this is the guy you want, Sean, is Brent Venables. Been there before under Bob, when Bob Stoops was coach. Now at Clemson as DC. Is that who you think is the best fit? And if y'all can't get Brent, who else is like up next in your eyes? Man, I saw Matt Rule today. I was like, come on. I know you want no Matt Rule.
Yeah, so Brent Venables definitely number one on the list, man. Big time. To be honest, man, throughout the season, and people close to me know this. I was getting tired of Lincoln, man. So like I said, when he left, I was a little shocked about it, but I wasn't too upset, at the same time. And man, Venables, that's the guy I want, man. I wanted him, to replace Stoops back in the day, just because of the fire he brings, man. And a lot of people try to say that, OU fans ran him out of Oklahoma. That wasn't the case. Just to clear that up, what happened there was that's when Bob brought in Mike Stoops. And Mike Stoops was coaching on defense, and they wanted, Bob wanted Mike to be more involved in defense, so they wanted to make them co-defensive coordinators. Brett Venables wasn't having that.
Yeah.
Ruffles some feathers.
So yeah, he wasn't having that. So he took off to Clemson. There was no bad blood or anything like that. So Venables is definitely number one on my list, because I just think him defensively, he could bring in guys will believe in him defensively, so we can get some guys, especially heading to the SEC, which I'm not exactly so confident about as I was 6 months ago, or whatever that was. But yeah, man, Venables, he's just a good defensive mind, and I think a lot of offensive coordinators probably want to come to OU right now, knowing that the quarterback that's there, because that could uplift them to a head coaching job.
Right.
Yep.
If y'all go that route with Brent, and he brings in a nice OC that Caleb sees that, okay, I can flourish in this system, then I think y'all could pick up kind of where you left off last few years. A little bit.
Yeah.
It's definitely gonna be tough whenever y'all decide to make that jump to the SEC, which a lot of people thought Lincoln wasn't on board with that, but he came out and said he was on board, but you never know. Like that's not something he's gonna come out and say, no, I wasn't on board with this, but you never know what's going on behind closed doors.
Just not to get off track here, but just jumping on that point, another thing that kind of came out in the background about why Lincoln Riley left, he had a lot of issues with the compliance department at Oklahoma. He said that they were a little strict with weightlifting time, practice time, things like that they would be, sitting in the weight room watching the guys work out. 2 hours is up, they got to go. And in the SEC, they don't really have that. In these other conferences, they don't really have that. So he felt like, he couldn't really gain a ground on these SEC teams, get his guys to where they need to be, because compliance was kind of standing in the way of that. I heard that was a reason why Lincoln kind of fell off on OU, and but to get back to what we were talking about, man, Matt Rule, nah, man, I don't want that guy, man. I mean, I know he's a good coach, man, and the kids play hard for him. Supposedly, all his players love him dearly. But from what I heard, he's not exactly the best recruiter.
Yeah, he got a lot of help when he was at Baylor. When he first got to Baylor, he did the smart thing and hired a bunch of Texas coaches, high school coaches, like Joey McGuire, who just got hired at Texas Tech. He was Cedar Hill's high school coach.
Yeah, Joey was a guy. If he wouldn't have went to Tech, I think he would be a prime candidate right now for the OU job, because OU was trying to bring him on last year.
I remember that.
And so if he wouldn't have went to Tech so fast like that, he probably would be at Oklahoma right now, really, to be honest, because they love that guy.
Right.
I know he's a Texas high school football legend or something like that, right?
He's in the – I think he just got inducted into the Hall of Texas – I think Texas High School Sports Hall of Fame, something like that. But, yeah, when Matt Rule got to Baylor, he did the smart thing. He's not from Texas. He's the East Coast cat, so he hired a bunch of Texas coaches, to help with the recruiting part, and that played off. But honestly, he had his, obviously, as you see now, he's in the NFL. He had his dream of being an NFL coach, and so even if he came back to college, I think, man, when is he gonna want that back? So I don't really trust that he would be committed to a program for the long haul. So
But
2020
that's
inductee.
and
Sorry.
There we go. Thanks, Dane.
yeah. But besides Rule, man, the only other guy besides Rule and Venables, because we're hearing those names a lot. The guy that I would like to take that I think will be a swing for the fences would be Dan Lanning,
Oh
Georgia's
yeah.
defensive coordinator.
Mm.
He's a young guy. I mean, I think he's 35.
Mhm.
And that's about the time Lincoln started at OU. So he's a young guy, man. He's energetic. He's supposedly Kirby says he runs a defense that Kirby Smart claims he doesn't have his hand in it like that. But I mean, of course, he's gonna say that for his guy to make him look a
Yeah.
little better. But I mean, he's coached one of the best defenses in football the last 3-4 years. I mean, he's young, he's energetic. The kids want to relate to somebody who's a little younger. And that's why I'm not a fan of bringing Bob Stoops back. Love the guy, legend.
Hey, he came in
But
hard for y'all though. He'll do
he
anything for
did.
Oklahoma.
He
He'll literally
did. He
die for
did.
Oklahoma, bro.
Yeah, for real. For real. But yeah, man, that's about it with the coaching candidates for me that I could see OU bringing in. If they do anything else, man, I'll probably be on suicide watch.
It's tough. Like, I mean, Brent seems like the clear-cut guy because he's been there. He loves the program. The defensive aspect that you want is just, I think the key, maybe they're trying to see that too at Oklahoma, is who are you bringing on the offensive side that we could keep our most prized possessions of what we have left.
I think that's what's slowing a lot of this down too, because they want to see if they can make that connection with they bring in a head coach. They can get a yes from an offensive coordinator out there before they bring him on.
Right.
Because that's it. Really, man, it's all about Caleb at this point.
Right.
That's what they're doing. It's all about him. And I mean, I hope they bring in the right person, because we lose Caleb, boy.
Right.
We might not win 3 games. I ain't gonna lie to you.
I put out a tweet, and y'all probably seen it, about the coaching carousel this year and how it's been. It looks just like how we used to play the NCAA 14 game. Like, we still play a little bit, but like the coaching carousel is spinning. It's spinning. It's spinning. Of course, we saw Lincoln go. We saw Brian Kelly go. But I'm looking at these lists of college programs and new coaches. Virginia Tech just hired a new coach, Penn State defensive coordinator Brent Pry.
Yep.
LSU, of course, got Brian Kelly. So Notre Dame's job is open, which could be Luke Fickell, who was there before. It could be Marcus Freeman, who's there now, the young black defensive coordinator, who I would love to, step up and get that job. Right. And then we had big name jobs open. Washington got filled. The TCU job got filled. Like, I don't think I've ever. Yeah, Dykes. Billy Napier went to Florida. I don't think I've ever seen at this particular, one particular offseason where all these coaches or all these big name programs had openings. And my question to both of you is, what out of the hirings we've seen so far, what do you guys see as the best fit, like match between coach and team? Because I got one at the top of my head.
Go ahead, Dane.
You know what? I said this before a few podcasts ago, but I said the most coveted job, in my opinion, would be that USC job, only because there hasn't been anyone consistent in that conference. We haven't seen it in a while. And with the push towards, or the continued push of dominance that we see in the SEC, there's got to be somebody else to see the silver lining. Like, I probably won't be able to win here, but what I could do is take over an entire conference. The best way to do that is to go where you see a central movement of, when you think about the size of California and the proximity of recruits that go from Northern California, Southern California, Central, even in parts of Washington, that trek all the way down to USC. So in my opinion, although I hate the move, the sucker shit move that he pulled, the Lincoln Riley move to USC is probably going to benefit whoever is going to be lined, or one, if not 11 of those guys that are lining up on offense, because we saw what he's capable of when he was at OU. I think maybe 10 or 15 years from now, we can look back at this particular moment and see just how impressive it was, not only to build such an offense to fit the needs of one Heisman winning quarterback, but then a second one. But to see that in such a short period of time and then make Jalen Hurts look serviceable. Now, I'm not going to speak to what he is right now, but him getting into the second round and seeing how he's playing right now, that's all Lincoln Riley. Like, let's
without a doubt. Without a doubt.
Exactly, because we saw what he looked like at Bama, and even boy got his spot took. Let's just be real about that. But for him to make to hand that guy the ingredients that he did, and him to make a beautiful full course meal was impressive. So I don't think with the opportunity he's going to have, with the amount of recruits that he's going to get in California, because let's be real, that where else are they going to go? And I hate to say, I mean, off the top of my head, offensively, that's probably where it's going to be at.
I like that answer, Dane. I like how you broke it down. I'm gonna go with even though the jokes were flying on social media when this guy was hired.
Don't you do it.
I'm going with Brian Kelly.
Oh wow. Really?
Wow, and I'm gonna tell y'all why. Okay. We know how Brian Kelly is as a person, right? He's dry, he's to the point kind of guy. And when we look at LSU and what they came from with Ed Orgeron, go Tigers and rah kind of guy, right? Okay, hear me out. Brian Kelly got to the highest he thought he could with Notre Dame, right? Which is, on the brink of a national championship in the playoffs a couple years, right? And now, if we think of Notre Dame, a prestigious religious school, strict academic, you got to be smart. You got to be way up here to get in Notre Dame. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And absolutely.
So
I'm sorry. You can convince 80-some odd horny ass teenagers to come to your school and it's like, hey, by the way, no sex until you leave. It's like, wait a minute.
Is that a Notre Dame thing too, or is that just? I thought it was just BYU.
Oh no, sir.
I thought it's a Mormon thing, ain't it?
It's one of the things that BYU? I've looked the story up and I'll send it to you guys afterwards. But there's he's currently in NFL now. I can't remember who it was. Oh no, plays for the Bills. Can't remember his name. Speed guy. They're trying to get him to come to Notre Dame, and one of the last things they told him was like, "Oh yeah, and we have a pact or a contract essentially that you can't have sex, no sexual intercourse." Or
he was like, period. "Hell no!"
And he was like, "What?" And like a week later, he announced that he decommitted and announced his commitment somewhere else. So it's
wow, I have to look that up.
Let me find that story now.
So Brian Kelly had brought Notre Dame to where he thought the ceiling was met. And so Notre Dame, they've known for their strict academic guidelines and all that. And, they still get great athletes, right? Or Brian Kelly has got the most out of these athletes. Now, if you take what Brian Kelly has done at Notre Dame and you take that to LSU, at LSU, they don't have those strict academic, type of things. You're recruiting in the recruiting bed of Louisiana, Texas, like where all the top recruits can come from, and you got all the resources that you want at LSU. I think that would be a match where Brian Kelly can, push these guys back to where they were a few years ago. I'm not saying it's going to happen in 2 years. I'm not going to say it's happening in 3 years, but I think that he will have those guys back at the top of the SEC against the Bamas and the Georgias in the next 3 or 4 years, because he'll get those athletes that he couldn't get at Notre Dame, and putting them in the scheme he wants to put them in. I think he can get those guys essentially to where they want to be. You found that tweet quick.
Isaiah McKenzie.
He was an ex-Bronco. Oh, okay. Wow.
It's a real deal. No sex. No premarital activities.
Wow.
That's crazy. I did not know that.
I did not know that about Notre Dame. Wow. Isaiah McKenzie decommitted from Notre Dame because a coach told him he couldn't have sex. Wow. Y'all could Google this for the listeners and watchers.
Hats off to any man that can convince 90 or so horny ass teenagers to commit.
Hey, that's definitely recruiting at its
Man.
finest. Like if you
So,
could convince
if he ain't got to worry about that in Louisiana, bro, he might have a number one recruiting class in like 3 years.
Yeah.
So
No, I
mean,
agree with you though, bud. That's a good way to look at it. Brian Kelly definitely did his thing at Notre Dame, and he's gonna have all the resources in the world down there at LSU.
Oh, another thing too. Pretty much, I think the last 3 or 4 coaches that have made it to LSU, they've gotten a national title within the first 3 years.
Yeah.
So that's also that speaks to the level of talent there, and it speaks to the culture there. Because if the coach ain't gonna get you there, if the coach isn't gonna motivate you, the culture there is going to do it. Otherwise, all that oil money, they're gonna find somebody else to replace your ass. So
yeah.
Dane, I know you saw this tweet from my boy Elliot Coffey from Baylor.
Oh, here this
the
guy
one
goes.
about
The Baylor plug.
The Brian, the Brian Kelly video I sent you. He's talking about when he eats the recruit's mom's gumbo for the first time. Did you see that show?
Oh yeah, I seen that. Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, that's what when Idris Elba was on Hot Ones. He said,
"Oh shoot,
yeah,
my head hurt."
That was funny, man. That's what I'm saying. The jokes were flying. They were flying, man. But I'm like,
because it didn't add up. Like,
right? No, yeah. LSU and Brian Kelly. Nobody would have thought that pairing would make sense. Like if we know like how LSU is and who they had previously with Orgeron, but like Nick Saban was at LSU and he wasn't really a rah kind of guy. We know how Nick Saban is.
Yeah.
Running into Bill Belichick at a strip club in Miami in the middle of the day, like that's what kind of
massage parlor.
Facts, probably.
I'm trying to get us banned from get our podcast.
You'll have them fan bases coming at us crazy.
Facts. So last night, guys, the final college football playoff rankings came out before the selection show on Sunday. Top 10, Georgia, Michigan jumps to number 2 after the big win over Ohio State. Sorry, Dane. Alabama at 3.
They came to play. We didn't.
Cincinnati at 4. Oklahoma State 5. Notre Dame 6. Ohio State 7. Ole Miss 8. Baylor 9. Oregon 10. So basically it was the same as last week, except the Michigan Ohio State kind of flipped. I think Michigan was at 6 last week, and you guys were at 2, Ohio State, and then Baylor and Ole Miss flipped at 8-9, which I don't understand, but whatever.
Tell us how you feel, Deonte.
I'll tell you how I feel. I'm going through every little scenario. Like, man, how can we somehow?
I was gonna ask.
You know I've been going through the scenario.
Yeah,
all right,
I know it.
Here's the scenario, guys. We beat Oklahoma State right on Saturday.
Oh, do that one last. Get that prediction last. I need everything. Everybody else do their job only for y'all to come up short, just so we can.
I know. Well, we play first, so we play early Saturday.
Yeah, play at 11.
You know how the Big 12 championship is, Sean. Them 11 a.m. kickoff.
Yeah.
No respect.
Hey, you ain't got to worry about that in the SEC, bro. Y'all.
Yeah, I know. I'm tired of
prime time slots.
Can't even get a couple beers in without thinking I'm an alcoholic. 11 a.m.
Exactly, bro. That's what I'm saying. Like we trying to plan how we gonna do this Big 12 pregame, and I'm like, man, we about to be. Because I know 2 years ago, Sean, we were out of there like at by kickoff.
What?
By kickoff, we were out of there. But we need Houston to beat Cincinnati. I need Mark's brother, Marcus Jones, to go crazy on Cincinnati.
Go crazy.
Okay.
We need Michigan to lose to Iowa. That's probably the one that's not going to happen because Big Ten championships.
Defense.
They inside on turf, man. I think Michigan's just
offense is so bad.
Yeah.
So bad at Iowa.
Predictable.
Yeah. So we would need that upset, and we need Georgia to knock Bama out of the top 4, man. So I think with 2 losses, Bama is out of the top 4. But we know how the playoff feels about the SEC, or the committee feels about the SEC.
Yeah, but if y'all got a conference championship on y'all's belt, though, y'all trump
Notre Dame. That's what I'm thinking.
Y'all trump a 2-loss Bama, Notre Dame.
Notre Dame without a coach. Notre Dame without a top 25 win. Like, our resume is better. We just have that ugly ass loss to TCU, which I still cannot describe.
Yeah, which is crazy. Can you imagine where y'all would be right now if y'all would have won that TCU
We'd be
game?
6,
Top
right
5,
under Oklahoma
bro.
State.
Yeah,
because we lost to Oklahoma State. We'd be 6, bro.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's gonna come back to hunt us. I already know it. But let's get into the actual picks for this weekend. Championship game picks. We got the ACC between number 15 Pittsburgh, number 16 Wake Forest. Big Ten championship, like we said, between Michigan and Iowa. Pac-12 between Oregon and Utah. SEC championship between Georgia and Bama. Big 12, Oklahoma State and Baylor. The American Conference Championship, a.k.a. the future Big 12, between Cincinnati and Houston. I think the Big 12 needs to hire me. I'm just throwing Big 12 out of there. Conference USA Championship, UTSA versus Western Kentucky. The MAC, Northern Illinois versus Kent State. The Mountain West, San Diego State versus Utah State. And Sun Belt, Louisiana versus Appalachian State. ACC title game, Pittsburgh, Wake Forest. I'm rolling with Kenny Pickett and Pittsburgh, man.
Oh, Kenny Pickett with the flu game?
Yeah.
Okay, I got that.
I'm going. Is he got the flu right now?
Flu-like symptoms is what the word on the screen is. But my boy Kenny Pickett, he gonna ball out.
Yeah,
he gonna ball out. This is flu game. Definitely. This is his top 15
flu game Kenny.
A potential, flu game Kenny potential top 15 pick tape right here. This is what it's gonna be.
Another thing I didn't put in the notes: who y'all got for Heisman, man? Like, this Heisman race is kind of weird.
It's weird, man.
It's strange, bro.
Hey, I don't know.
I don't even know. Like, you could pick like 5 guys and be like, I can see him winning it. You know, it's usually not like that.
Yeah,
I want a defender to win, but I ain't gonna do that. Unfortunately.
Man, I'm telling you, old boy, Mark's brother, Marcus Jones from Houston, he should at least be getting some talk, some consideration. I know he plays at Houston, man, but every time they throw it that boy's way or kick it his way, a play's made. Every time, man. So it's like, this guy's not up for Heisman.
Right.
Like, come on now, especially with this field that we have to pick from this year.
Power 5, he'd definitely be up there, bro.
Yeah, if he was.
Well, unfortunately, I hate to put it like that, but that's just how they feel, like how they see it, though. But
I'm going with Pittsburgh and Kenny Pickett, man. Hopefully, he's a future Steeler.
Hell yeah! Hey, right in the backyard.
I mean, it's right there. That'd be a smart pickup.
He already used to playing in the stadium. Just bring him on home. Man.
Yeah,
let him.
It's on record right now.
Yep. Big Ten, Michigan, Iowa. I'm going Michigan, man. I just think I think this one will actually be a blowout. I think they're playing. I think if it was outdoors, I think it would tend more to like in the elements. Iowa being that kind of nasty defense that they are, but I think Michigan's gonna be riding high off that Ohio State win, and I don't think it'll be close. I got Michigan.
Yeah, man. Michigan's rolling right now. They're physical. Iowa's physical, but they're more talented. Yeah. You know, they got the better players, and like you said, they're playing on turf. And yeah, Michigan big. That's easy for me.
Okay.
Going against the grain, Dane?
My heart wanted to, for obvious reasons, but they're not going to have. I don't think they're going to have any answers for those defensive ends. You got Aiden Hutchinson, who's probably teetering top 5 pick, and he's powerful as hell. Like, I don't know if y'all seen a lot of it, but I've seen a compilation of his
for the Heisman too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I would like a defender to win it, but they're not going to. I mean, they didn't give it to freaking Aaron Donald back in the day when he was causing havoc at Pitt. They definitely
that one year.
If they didn't give it to Dominican, if they didn't give it to anyone, like, it's not happening this year. But I would love to see it. I would love to see it. But I'm gonna go with Scum on this one. I got Scum taking this one over them.
Pac-12 championship on Friday night. I just see that's a Friday night game. Oregon and Utah rematch from a few weeks ago where Utah
got blowed out.
Upset them boys. Doors off of them boys.
Blew them doors. Man, I think Utah has been rolling ever since they benched Charlie Brewer, which man, that man needs to just go home and sell insurance or something. Sean, actually, did you see the rumor where he visited Norman?
What?
I don't know how true that
Man,
is. Somebody said maybe it was a joke.
Thickens.
Maybe it was a joke. Okay.
No, I
What,
saw
to be
that
a
too.
Yeah, somebody was trolling.
You saw that too, Dane?
No, I definitely saw that too. It was one of them play on
Maybe it
humor
was
type, not jokes, but it was
Okay.
like it was those type
Oh,
of
like one of those
account.
joking memes like I saw earlier today of Jason Garrett and OU gear.
Yeah.
I said, man, come on, man.
Yeah.
I don't need that. I don't need that clapping.
I
boy
know. Hey, yeah,
at my
Oklahoma's
school.
been the butt of jokes this
Man.
week, man.
Man, for real.
I know. What's crazy though, like y'all haven't had a coaching search in like 25 years, so to see like not only like your reaction, but fans that I've seen on Twitter. Like I got another buddy that listens to the pod. He's an Oklahoma fan, and he was just like, man, he wanted Brent Venables too, like you said, but like he was just so in a titsy like they never experienced. Y'all never experienced this unless you like an old time OU fan. So it's definitely an interesting position to be in. But back to the pick, man. I think I'm gonna roll with Oregon, man. I think I'm gonna go with Oregon. Utah's been rolling, but I'm gonna go with the man. This the rematch kind of vibe.
Yeah.
Like they're gonna be ready to ball. I got Anthony Brown and the Ducks.
Yeah, man. I don't really believe in Anthony Brown. To me, he looked good in that Ohio State game and
fell
kind
off.
of just been the rest of the year. So and like you said, Utah's rolling. I think they keep rolling in this one, man. I'm going with Utah.
Yeah, in the spirit of a second dosage of revenge, since my Buckeyes couldn't get the job done, they came in there and waxed us. So I ain't got nothing but hate for them boys. So I'm going with the Utes. Got a rep for my boy Jaquindon Jackson from Duncanville High. So hopefully he sees some sort of burn in the last few minutes of the game when they blowing them cheeks out.
Utah got an OU transfer too this year. One of their running backs.
Pledger, right?
Yeah,
I remember TJ.
Oh yeah.
Well, they got two of them technically, but the other one don't play much.
My bad. SEC championship.
Ooh.
Georgia, Bama. Georgia and Bama. Georgia, they have coasted through the season. Like, not to say that they haven't played anybody. I mean, they play in the SEC, which arguably the best conference in football, but they haven't had any trouble with, any opponent that they had thus far. I think Bama, we've seen Bama this year play a lot of close games. Obviously, they lost to A&M, I believe, right? Wasn't there one lost to A&M?
Yeah, it was A&M.
They almost lost last week to Auburn in the Iron Bowl, which rivalry game, you can always chalk that up to, rivalry always, or your rival always stepping up to the competition. But I think as much as the jokes fly about Georgia sports in general, I think this defense is an historic defense. They've played incredibly well, like beyond well, and I think that continues in this game. I got Georgia, and I got it like a 10-point game. I think Bama will put up a fight, but I think Georgia wins comfortably. I got Georgia winning this one.
Give us a final score, bud.
Final score? Okay. Shoot. Oh, let's go 31. I said 10 points, didn't I? That Georgia defense has not given up that many points. I gotta tread lightly. Okay. I'll go 31-21, Georgia.
Yeah, I could see that.
I go 31-21.
Yeah, man. I agree with you here, man. That Georgia defense is crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, them boys are insane. Jordan Davis in the gang, man. They're shutting Jordan boys Davis down.
I think I'm gonna fall to pick 32.
32, the Broncos?
It's a joke, man. It's a joke. Hell no.
Man, but yeah, that Georgia defense, man, I think they come to play in this one. And Bama already can't run the football at all. I think their running back, I don't know if he's playing Robinson. I'm not exactly sure on that. I know he got hurt in the game against Auburn last week, but they already struggle to run the ball, man. them pass rushers gonna pin their ears back and go after Bryce Young, man. I got Georgia 28-10. Yeah.
Well, I would love to see. First of all, we're gonna get a good ass game. We have two Titans. Well, correction. I have a little Titan and a big Titan. I'll let you decide which one is which. But I think based on what we've seen from Georgia, I think what the most someone scored on was it 17 points this season? 17 points, something like that.
Yeah,
Something like
I'm about to
that.
look it up.
It's super. The defense has been balling.
Something ridiculous.
It's some amazing, but
Yeah.
the highs are 17, right?
I'm looking now.
Anyway.
13, 17. Yeah, Tennessee. They gave up 17 to Tennessee.
Okay, so
That's wild, bro.
And that's
That
a good
considered-
offense in Knoxville, man.
Yep.
yeah, man. So I don't know, but the defense obviously is going to be the anchor. With hopefully soon to be Dallas Cowboy hopeful.
Their closest win was Kentucky, 30-13. That's a 17-point win.
If you want to call it close.
Right, exactly. If you want to call it close. They just anyway, but yeah.
Yeah, I would love to say Bama, but I'm leaning towards Georgia and the squad they got with Walker and Dean and Davis, of course. So I'm gonna go with Bama, 3 points, field goal.
Just because, Dane.
Just
because. Now that would cause some. Now, Bama wins this. If Bama wins this game, close. Georgia's still in the playoff, man.
Without a doubt.
Unfortunately, yes.
Right, we all agree on that. Georgia's still in the playoff. Bama, of course, would be in the playoff, and then depending on how everything else shakes up, I don't know, man. That'd be insane. I think if Bama beats Georgia, I think they go to where do they go? 2? You're right, Dan. It could be 2, 3, 2, 4. I don't know how
I think we would definitely see a rematch. Either it'd be.
I don't think the committee would put them in a semifinal together.
Deonte, right here,
to go back to back.
Right here, bro. You gotta think
when they could get it in a natty like they did that one year.
This right here. Got to think about the money, the money in the advertising. That's all what it's all about.
SEC will be too happy if that happens.
Yeah, man.
I ain't gonna lie.
But yeah, for the sake of chaos, Bama by 3 for the sake of chaos.
Yeah,
that's what I'm going with.
Okay, let's get even more chaotic. Big 12 championship. You know who I'm rolling with. Is that even a question, brother? Is that even a question where we going, Sick'em baby? Sick'em baby. Okay, I will say this. Let me get serious.
You better hope they win.
Let me get serious. Okay, we lost to Oklahoma State in week. Let me look to make sure I'm right. It was week.
It was weak. It was weak.
Very, very weak. It was week 5, 24-14. A lot of opportunities to win that game. Spencer Sanders gave us the ball 3 times. Sean and I talk about this a lot, even when y'all play Oklahoma State.
Yeah.
He's gonna give you the ball.
Yeah.
You just gotta capitalize off that.
And he did it against OU.
Exactly. If you can capitalize off the gifts that Spencer Sanders give to you, you will win the game. And I think what it'll come down to, if Baylor can do that, 1, 2, who plays quarterback for us? I think Gary Bohannon is trying to come back from this hamstring, and those are tricky. And so I don't know if I would trust him at 80% even, but I think he would be better than I don't know if y'all really got to see the other guy that looks just like Charlie Brewer, which is crazy.
Yeah,
but Blake Shapen.
It is.
He can kind of rip it though, but I think he's too gunslingy with it, and Oklahoma State's defense is pretty damn good, and so I feel like he may try to force it in big moments if he plays compared to Gary. Kind of, I feel like he's more seasoned obviously this year. So if Gary plays, I think we win a close one. If Blake Shapen plays, I think we lose. But I'm gonna say Gary plays, so I think we win. How about that? Chaos.
Okay.
Man, yeah, it's. I mean, I'm on the same page as you with that, but if Gary plays, I think Baylor wins this game. Oklahoma State. I mean, OU showed last week that you can score on them boys. You can run it on them. You know, I try to say you can't run it up. Kennedy Brooks went off for 130.
Yeah.
We know Baylor can run the football, so y'all can break a couple runs on them boys.
Yeah, this matchup is the number 1 and 2 offense and defensive run games in the Big 12. So that's crazy.
Oh yeah, see, yep, exactly. So
we battle of strengths.
But man, I don't care what quarterback plays, man. I'm going Baylor. Sick 'em. I'm going Baylor, baby.
Sick 'em Bears.
Let's
Dane,
go Bears.
I'm a man of chaos, so I'm going with the Baylor Bears. Deonte.
Hey, we all pick the Bears. Sweet.
That means we're gonna lose, y'all. We all picking Bears. On like college game day and the pick'em shows, they always do the screenshot and then the team.
Yeah.
Halftime, 43-0.
I be hoping they don't all pick my team. Man, please, man, come on, man. And then put Corso put the hat on. Man, don't pick OU, man.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
He did that last week, didn't he, Dane? He put on that Buckeye head.
I missed the pick last week.
Yeah, he put on that Buckeye head last week.
Dang.
He was overconfident. I know I was overconfident. I just knew we was about to bag them fools.
Nope.
Well,
y'all
coming off a big win too.
Yeah.
Just smashed
I
Michigan State
too.
Yeah.
I know, man. It's just the way things happen. But they came to play, we didn't. But we're not talking about us right now. The Ohio State Buckeyes. We're talking about the Baylor Bears.
Everybody is on Baylor. Let's go. Sick 'em. The next game, American Conference Championship, number 4, Cincinnati, who has that perfect record, putting it on the line the last time before their potential playoff berth against number 21, Houston, who only has one loss. Without looking, guys, do y'all know who Houston lost to this year?
Yeah, I do.
It's a Big 12 team.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm drawing a blank.
Texas Tech, man. Isn't that crazy? They lost to Tech.
Yep. That was week 1.
Right, yeah. By 17, it was like a blowout. I'm like, wow. I guess crazy how things change so often. But Houston, Cincinnati, man. And they play their conference championships at the home team's place, correct? Or am I tripping? Or at
I'm not exactly sure.
I don't know where they play their games at.
I'm not exactly sure.
I don't exactly tune into those, but no disrespect.
Let me see.
You'll never
to do so, players. I believe this game is being played in Cincinnati, but I don't know if that changes my pick anyway. I think it'll be a close one. It seems like Cincinnati will be that team that can finally break through. All year they've felt like they were disrespected. All year they felt like why we aren't in the playoff. I think they finished the job that they started out or set out to do, and I think they beat Houston in a close one. Now we know who they could potentially be set up with in that first game, so we're not gonna go that far, but I think they get in the playoff. I think they beat Houston on Friday night, or is that that game's on Saturday after the Big 12 game.
On Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I'm going with Cincinnati on this, man. I don't think that they let this opportunity slide here. Yeah. And finally, a lot of those guys, especially guys who are seniors there who've been going through, getting left out of the playoffs and things like that. I think they come to play on Saturday without a doubt. Like you said, Cincinnati, close game, man. What about you, Dane? Chaos or what?
Chaos, my boy. This is what I'm going with. I'm going with my boy. I got to ride with my boy Sauce, a.k.a. Ahmad Gardner. So another potential Dallas Cowboy market here.
He's a dog, bro.
He's a dog. So with him at the helm of the defense, I'm not saying that, they're obviously not going to face a super crazy offensive threat, but you got a lot of upside, especially when you haven't given up a touchdown all season. So I'm going with Cincy. I'm going with the Bearcats.
Bearcats. the other Bearcats.
Yeah,
Hey,
the
yeah,
other
when does
Bearcats.
Sam play? Sam plays Saturday, right?
Saturday, yeah, play Saturday.
Defending national champs.
The defending
I
national
see.
national
Hey,
champ.
what is it?
Bearcats.
Round one? Is it round
Yeah.
one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Round one.
So we about to get it cracking.
That's what's
Let's
up.
see.
Well, those that are listening and watching, I hope you guys don't expect us to go through the rest of these non-power conference championships. I will give one more pick because my guy KJ is the team physician, and Karina and I were just at his wedding this weekend at UTSA. They will get the dub and be conference champs coming off that bag loss against North Texas, and I think they finished the job against Western Kentucky and get the dub. Dane, you don't agree? I'm gonna tell KJ what you say. Bro.
No, I was shaking my head because I didn't expect him to lose to UNT.
Oh,
like especially they
well,
got the
crazy.
Twitter fingers.
It was his
was
wedding
wild.
day, and he was like, he followed along with the game while you getting married, and like it's crazy because he's the literal head team physician like of the team, and so
Sprained ankle.
He was saying like something about they didn't follow. I don't know if he was joking or not, but it was like he had said something about them not following with the correct pregame workout plan or something, and he said they look sluggish, so he would know.
Yeah.
I don't know, so
Yeah.
but yeah. Shout out to UTSA, and man, hopefully, I feel like honestly, this weekend's games are going to be entertaining for sure. It's exciting to see if it does get chaotic, but usually when I feel like the last few years when all the possibilities that could happen, it kind of goes according to schedule. It's like who's going to win. You may see like one upset, but
we have this on record, by the way.
Yeah, we do.
You meant to see one upset. Yeah, all right. Okay.
Big,
let's run this tape back this time next
I know.
week.
You'll be ready to run it back. Big
Remember that
thanks.
you said last week?
Big thanks to my brother Sean, OU fan, coming through to relieve some stress, talk about
for sure.
The Sooners coming through, man. Therapy. Yeah. Tell the people where they can follow you on Twitter and Instagram, my guy.
Hey, man. So I appreciate y'all boys for having me on, man. If you're interested, I'm not too entertaining on Twitter, man, but besides when college football season's rolling around, if you're interested, and I get a little crazy on there a little bit. I'm on it on Twitter. I'm on Twitter at Colleen Texan.
Hey,
and I'm on Instagram at StillMo10, man. Y'all can find me on there. And I do a little. I'm all sport. I'm a sports guy, so I talk all sports on my stuff, man.
Just like us. Appreciate you,
just
Sean,
like my brothers, man.
For coming
you
through.
won't find a bigger college football fan. You won't find a bigger Sooner fan.
Hey, I can do it too. Horns down,
yes,
baby.
Sir.
Horns down.
Horns down.
Do it.
Thank you, Dane. Y'all know
just because, man.
Baby.
Just
all
because. Appreciate you, Sean,
for
coming
right
through.
there. That needs to be the cover right there.
Oh yeah,
everybody with the horns down.
I'm making it the cover. Episode 68 of the Duo Sports and Stuff podcast. You can follow us on Instagram, Twitter. You listen to this on Apple Music, Spotify, watching it on YouTube. Also, before we get out, big shout out to my guy C-Daz, aka Chill T Bango, for the dope new intro music that he gave us and outro music that I'm gonna play as we get out of here. So appreciate you, and tune in next time to the Duo Sports and Stuff podcast.
The duo. The duo. The duo. The duo. The duo. The duo. The duo.